Hello, fifth grade. How are you doing? Today's May 8th, 2020. We're going to be learning about multiples of 10 today, specifically division of multiples of 10. So, you'll need your prime, page 25, that book, page 25, 5A. But before we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple of examples, okay? Before we go to page 25 and work with division of tens, hundreds, and thousands, we're going to look at a couple of problems. You can see here we have two bills. You recognize them? Those are the bills of Costa Rica, right? We have the 2,000 colon and we have the 20,000 colon, right? Now, they're very different in denomination, and you'll probably recognize that one is much more than the other, right? We have the 2,000, which has 3 zeros, and the 20,000, which has 4 zeros. Okay, so they're very different. How do we get 20,000 colones from 2,000? Well, we would multiply by a factor of 10. 2,000 times 10 gives us 20,000. Okay, we are multiplying by a factor of 10. Now, what we're going to be doing today is different than what we were doing last time, okay? We're going to be dividing by a factor of 10. So how would you get 2,000 from 20,000? Well, you would divide. 20,000 divided by 10 gives you 2,000. Okay, so you'll notice that our number gets much smaller when we divide. Again, when you multiply, the number gets much bigger. So 100 times 10, or 100 times 100, or 100 times 1,000 is going to multiply that number and make it bigger. 100 times 10 is 1,000. 100 times 100 is 10,000. And 100 times 1,000 is 100,000. So you'll notice those numbers are getting much bigger. Now, what happens if we divide? Well, the number gets smaller. 100 divided by 10 is 10. 100 divided by 100 is 1. And 100 divided by 1,000 is something we'll get into later on in fifth grade with decimals, 0.1 or 1/10. Okay, so it's very important that we understand that by moving those decimal points, okay, we're changing the denomination, or we're changing the multiple of 10, okay? So let's look at some examples on page 25. If you need your multiplication table, it would be a very good idea to get that out. But let's do a couple of examples on page 25, okay? Since this is green, let's actually change the color to blue. Here we go. 36 divided by 10, we're actually going to need to divide both sides by a factor of 10. So divide by 10 here and divide by 10 here. Okay, if we divide by 10 on both sides, what we're really doing is getting rid of that decimal point. Okay, so if we have that decimal point right there, we're going to get rid of the 0 right there and get rid of the 0 right here. So our final answer is going to be 36 divided by 1, which just equals 36, right? Let's do the next problem. For the next problem, we're going to not divide by 10, we're going to be dividing by 100, okay? So we're going to divide this one by 100, and we're going to divide this other side by 100 as well. By 100. Let's see. Oh, I'll try that again. By 100. Okay, so I'm going to take away both of those zeros on both sides. Okay, so I get rid of this one and I get rid of this one because I'm dividing by 100. 100 divided by itself is just 1. And then we're going to get rid of this one and this one. So again, we're doing 36 divided by 1, which is just 36. All right, with that last problem, we're dividing by 1,000. So let's actually divide 1,000 by itself. Divide that by 1,000. 1,000 divided by 1,000 just equals 1. Okay, that's just going to give us 1. And 36,000 divided by 1,000 is going to give us 36. So 36 divided by 1 is just going to give us 36 again. Okay, our answer is 36. All right. So each one of those answers was 36 on the first problem on page 25. Okay, let's do some more problems. Let's do letter B. Letter B says that we're going to be dividing again by 10, 100, and 1,000. Okay, this time we have 420 divided by 10. Well, just like I showed you, we're going to continue to divide the number to get it smaller so that we can just divide by one, divide by 1 and make our number easier to understand. If we divide by 10 in this case, okay, 10 divided by 10 just equals 1. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. 420 divided by 10 is going to give us 42. So in reality, we have 42 divided by 1, which gives us 42. Okay, our answer is 42. All right, 42. 42 is our final answer. Okay, let's do the next one. Let me find my browser. Here we go. So a different color. Again, I just chopped off that 0 right here, and we just had 42 divided by 1, which equals 42. That's our final answer for this first problem, okay? Let's do the second thing, the second problem. We're going to divide by 100 on both sides. Since we divide by 100 on both sides, we have 42 divided by 1, which is going to give us 42. Next problem. We're going to divide by 1,000. If I divide 1,000 by 1,000, that's going to give me 1. And if I divide 42,000 by 1,000, that's going to give me 42. So 42 divided by 1, again, is 42. Okay? You'll notice that every time our number got much smaller because we are dividing. When we divide, our number or our answer gets smaller. Okay? All right, let's eliminate all these and go to the next couple of problems. Okay? What I want you to do is I would like you to do these problems on your own. I want to see if you can do the next couple of problems, letter C, on your own. Okay, so we're going to pause the video. You're going to do letter C on your own, and then we'll check our answers. All right, hopefully you did letter C on your own. We're going to now check the answers to see if they are correct. Okay, so both sides are divided by 10. Divided 10 by 10 and divided 5,700 by 10. 570 divided by 1 is just 570. I divided this next problem by 100 on both sides, so I chopped off 2 zeros on both sides, which is really 570 divided by 1, again, is 570. Okay, and the last problem, divide both sides by 1,000. 1,000 divided by 1,000 is just 1. And then we're left with 570 divided by 1, which again is equal to 570. Okay, pretty simple. All right, let's do the next couple of problems together. Okay, we have letter D and E on page 25. Okay, when we do this, we're just going to now divide by 10 with all of these problems. Okay, so this is going to give us some answers that are a little bit different. Okay, let's see. Let's pick a different color. Let's probably do red this time, okay? If we divide 890 by 10, we're going to get 89. 89 divided by 1 is 89, okay? Next one, 8,900, or you could say 8,900, divided by 10. Well, I'm going to divide 10 by 10 and 8,900 by 10. So that's going to chop off both of my zeros right there. And I'm left with 890 divided by 1, which equals 890. Okay? You'll notice I only got rid of one of the zeros in that spot because I'm only dividing it by 10, not by 100. Let's do the last problem. 89,000 divided by 10. Well, divide 89,000 by 10 and 10 by 10, and then we're left with a simpler problem, which is 8,900 divided by 1, which just gives us 8,900. All right, cool. These probably look pretty similar because they are. This time we're going to divide each one of them by 100, okay? Just like we did in those other problems, okay? Let's pick blue this time, just so we can change it up a little bit. We're going to divide everything by 100, which means that we're going to chop off 2 zeros on both sides in each one of these problems, okay? Now we are dividing all the numbers by 1. You'll see we're dividing it by 1. Any number divided by 1 is itself. Otra vez en español. Cualquier número dividido por 1 siempre va a ser sí mismo. So 24 divided by 1 is just 24. 240 divided by 1 is just 240. And 2,400 divided by 1 is just 2,400. Okay, it's that simple. We don't need to complicate it. Pretty cool, huh? All right, let's do the last couple of problems, but this time I'm going to have you pause the video one more time and do those problems on your own. Okay, so I would like you to pause the video, and you're going to do problems F and G on your own so we can check the answers at the way end. All right, hopefully you paused the video. Now we're going to check our answers for F and G. When we do these problems, this time we're dividing by a different base 10 each time. Okay, so you got to be really careful. We are going to divide by 10 on both sides, which just means our answer is going to be 63,700. Okay, make sure you include all of those 5 digits in your answer. All right. Next one, we're going to divide both sides by 100. When we divide both sides by 100, we get rid of 2 of the zeros, okay? And we have left 6,370. All right. For this next problem, we're going to be dividing by 1,000. When you divide 1,000 by 1,000, it just equals 1. And 637,000 divided by 1,000 is going to give you 637. So that's our answer. All right, let's check that last problem, and then we're finished for today. We're going to divide this one by 10. So 10 divided by 10 is just 1. Any number divided by 1 is itself. So let's just put that number right into our answer blank. 74,000. All right. 740,000 divided by 100. Well, let's divide both sides by 100. Chop off both of those zeros on both sides, and we're left with 7,400. Okay, that's a 0. Oops, that's a really bad 0. There we go. That's better. A little bit better. There we go. Okay, and the last problem. We're going to divide both sides by 1,000. 1,000 has 3 zeros, so let's chop off all 3 of those zeros, and we're left with 740. All right, cool. Well, that's the end of the lesson, boys and girls. If you need more practice with this, or you would like to get a head start on our next part of the lesson, you can go to this game right here. Okay, I'm going to show you this game right here so you guys can see it. It's abcya.com. It gives you a better understanding about what base 10 is. Okay, if you're not understanding base 10, maybe the difference between 10 and 100 and 1,000, this gives you a better understanding of base 10. Okay, let's just wait to see it. It's going to load. Another video while that's loading is this one right here, mathgames.com. So I'm going to click on that. We'll show you that as well. Okay,
Base 10 fun.
Turn that down a little bit. This one's kind of cool because it has some music. It's really interactive. Let's select the hundreds and go. Okay. What you need to do, boys and girls, is you need to make the number that it tells you on the top. So, for example, 280. Okay. So you're gonna have to drag the numbers over here to try to get the number that would equal 280. Okay. So here's 100, 200, and how many more do we need here? Well, 210. 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280. Let's see if that's correct. All right, we got it correct. So that's just a cool game that you can play if you would like more practice on base 10. Okay, so it's, again, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see that. It's called abcya.com base 10. Okay, so you see it right here. All right. And then the next game that I'd like you to play if you want to practice this is on mathgames.com. Okay, so here's the link. It's basically working with decimals and understanding what it is like dividing by 100 or 10 or 1. Okay, this is a little bit more complex than what we did in the lesson, but you'll get the hang of it. So for example, if I move this decimal point over 1, 2 times, it should be 0.54, I believe. Let's see if it's correct. Ooh, keep going. Let's try it again. 22 divided by 10. Well, move that decimal point over 1, 2 spots, 0.22. Answer. All right, good. So I got that one right. You need to put the 0 in the spot. So that's another game that you guys can play. And then one more activity, if you want, just to get some more practice, is this YouTube video that I have right here. Okay, it's only 7 minutes long, and it does explain the same concept that we have been learning, okay, but just with a little bit more complex numbers, okay? So not dividing by base 10, but maybe by 30 or 50 or another number like that. So that'll give you some idea. Okay, I will put these links inside of the notes in the YouTube video. But it's been great to have you guys here. Hopefully you learned something about dividing by base 10 numbers. We'll see you next time.